Alzheimer's and post-traumatic stress. And it also explores how caregivers need to take care of their own mental health in order to be able to take care of someone else's. And the pandemic created sort of a new openness for talking about mental health and broke down a lot of taboos. Fred, you're the executive director of the European Brain Council, and that's a nonprofit network working to promote brain research for the estimated 179 million Europeans living with brain traditions. Pledge, please.
Thank you very much, Sarah, and thank you for the invitation to EBC to take the floor. And I'd like to say first that we are here today for the 1 in 3 living with a neurological condition, the 1 in 4 living with a psychiatric disorder, so basically the millions living with a brain disorder in Europe and globally, but also for their families and their carers. So brain conditions pose a huge burden to our society. They generate a huge unmet need, but they also come for all of us, and particularly for members of this House, with a great responsibility as to how we face this challenge. This challenge is basically due to the high complexity of neuroscience, the high complexity of understanding the root causes, but also on how best to address the consequences of brain conditions. And it is really at this interplay of science and society that EBC launched a policy call on no health without brain health, calling for the recognition that brain health, brain research, brain innovation, brain capital, brain wealth is being taken care of to the benefit of people living with a brain condition, but also their families, their carers, and also to society at large. As we need a culture of openness, a culture of support, a culture that gets rid of the stigma associated with brain diseases, but that also restores dignity and hope for society and people living with a brain condition. So the momentum cannot be better with EU elections coming about and us being able to raise awareness on the need for action here. The work has started at EU level with the creation of a Brain Health Partnership, but way more needs to be done, and that's an ongoing plea that EBC and its member organizations are actually conveying in the trail of the global efforts that have been spinned by the United Nations, the World Health Organization, and we are really calling for, let's say, a collective vision here and a collective strive in order to achieve those goals. And I'd like really to thank, on behalf of EBC, Richard and...
Outstanding work. As a veteran of 26 years, I cannot tell you how much it means that somebody brings up such an important issue of not just the people that experience the trauma, but the caregivers, and time again. And oftentimes, because of our policies and restrictions, cannot express that to anybody else. And so they live that trauma hundreds of times over, if not thousands, because it's shared with all of their patients that they're trying to give care to. And to answer your question about the Transatlantic Initiative, that's easy. That's simple. We do policy. At the end of every policy is person. And that's why there's a shared connection. And it's not just transatlantic, but it's global. And so, again, thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to seeing this movie. I'm preparing myself because it may remind me of a few things. And, well, sometimes you need to be reminded. And thank you once again, sir, for hosting this very important thing.
Relationship in unexpected ways, and Michael Callender is a good person to kind of continue that theme. He's the president of the American Club of Brussels. The club works to forge cross-cultural ties in Belgium and has a long history with American service members and veterans, dating back to its founding in the years following the First World War. Family caregivers of injured or disabled veterans in the U.S. face some of the greatest challenges when it comes to years spent providing care to a family member. Military families on average spend twice as many years. So please welcome Michael Callender.
A lot of difficulty, but at the same time, a lot of new laughs and a lot of new things I didn't know I could do because of the caregiving that happened over the last 8-9 years now. So I do think also, because it took us 2 years to edit it, Sarah, and so when we hit save, not pause like we did during the movie But when we hit save, I realized as much and as open as I was during the edit process, that probably the difficulties I had and the happiness or all the emotions that were there were probably twice as big than what I thought going through it. And that's okay, right? You know, and that's, as you know, and many people in this room know, you just have to just go with it and be as open as you can.
Yeah, and for journalists, and with a special chat with the film's director, Richard Liu. Thank you.
名人媒体的记者自2010年前联合国秘书长潘基文时代以来，就一直活跃在联合国总部。名人媒体通常在现场直播报道联合国总部以及国家代表团在纽约场地举办的活动，包括美国、法国、英国、以色列、德国、俄罗斯、埃及、科威特、保加利亚、乌克兰、摩洛哥和欧盟。名人媒体的新闻报道使国际社会不同程度地了解到各国政府的工作，以便人们随时随地都知道联合国为世界和平、国际事务和多边主义所做的巨大努力和贡献。